guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'll be sharing 20 K-pop music videos that are wacky, strange, or just plain weird. I'll be dividing the 20 songs into 5 tiers of trippiness, so 4 songs per tier. Some ground rules. The MV has to be weird, not just a weird song or weird lyrics alone, for example. Number 2, I'm only including 1 MV per artist to keep the list diverse, because some artists have an entire videography full of weird videos. Number 3, though the video is focused on MVs, an MV gets bonus points if the song is weird too. And lastly, number 4, this is a no-brainer, but the song must be a title track or have an official MV to be included. There's one exception in this video, but I made it an honorable mention. And let me know what your favorite trippy MVs are in the comments below, and maybe they'll make it into a future video. And without anything else to say, let's get started! If you like watching any of those iconic K-pop song videos or any videos that like to talk about MVs that every K-pop fan should know, I'm sure you've seen Bar 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 there before. The video scores pretty low on the acid trip scale that we've got today, but that doesn't make it any weirder. I mean, who would have thought to put in bicycle helmets as a concept idea for outfits? But here we are. And so we got Bar Bar Bar. Alright, so We Don't Talk Together doesn't normally strike me as something that should have been on this list, but when I really looked back at it, the first time I watched this video, the video really freaked me out. I mean, you see Hayes with the skeleton, and it's not a typical kind of concept that you'd see in a K-pop music video. And sure, the wackiness kind of fades once you've seen the entire video and, like, the whole story comes together, but for first-time viewers, We Don't Talk Together is a pretty weird video. Alright, Signal by Twice. When I first saw this music video, it kind of turned me off the whole song in general. Like, I know it's kind of an extreme thing to say, but the alien concept really hit me a weird way, especially since Twice was one of the first groups that I got into, and they were the first girl group that I got into. In general, the concept is both retro in the outfits, but also really wacky with the whole them trying to flirt with the alien, and then the whole twist at the end as well, where they all become aliens. It's definitely not as wacky as some of the other videos we've got on this list, but I think it's a pretty solid tier 1 video compared to Twice's regular stuff. Okay, another video that's not too weird in terms of certain things, but I've never really been able to get into this song because every time I see the video, it just weirds me out more and more. Maybe it's the fact that the bunny head just looks so weird on that guy, but like some other parts, like the pastel of the video, could be really cute, but the bunny always seems to throw me off no matter how many times I watch this video. So yeah, I really couldn't get into the song, and the video kind of freaks me out, so I thought it deserved a spot on this list. Not to mention the really weird, like, broom bikes that they're flying. Like, I can understand a witch concept and putting them on a broom, but like, the bike handles just made it so much weirder. Not to mention the really weird scene with the girl and the bunny in the hot tub. So, starting off tier 2, we have Charm of Life, which is a track for SM Station performed by Heejul, Shindong, and Eunhyuk of Super Junior featuring Solar of Malibu, which honestly added up to be one of the weirdest songs I have ever heard and one of the weirdest MVs I've ever seen. One, Shindong's got that weird, like, facial hair going. He and Heejul have doppelgangers in the video. And then there's, like, the really weird and corny choreography. Plus you add in the, like, weird way they, like, deliver the lyrics if you watch the video. Like, the weird way they rap, the really, like, and Heejul has, like, a shouting part. And then you offset all of this with, like, Solar's angelic voice. And you get one of the weirdest trippy songs in K-pop. And I had to put it in here purely on personal principle. So I know I can't be the only one who thought that this was one of the weirdest collaborations we could ever have, period. I mean, I was excited for the song, and honestly, the song slapped so hard. I was definitely listening to it a bunch when it came out. But when you first hear that we're gonna get a collaboration between Jason Derulo, Lay, and NCT 127, and add on to the fact that it's a tribute to Michael Jackson, honestly, that's a big order. And so when we got the video, I honestly to this day still can't believe this video got made. But it's honestly both trippy and like a wonderful celebration of like how dance brings people together. And I love that aspect of it. But then there's also like Lay in his red pimp suit and like NCT just like totally all there because Jason and Lay are by themselves. Well, with their dance crews, and then there's like all of NCT 127. So all in all, it's such an interesting video that I think is going to be so interesting to fans that like have joined since and are like, wait, that happened. It's one of those kind of videos. It goes down, baby. It goes down, baby. So EXO's had some weird videos over the years, from like the occultish feeling of certain parts of their debut MV Mama to the wonderful actual acid trip that is Coco Bop. I mean, they literally allude to drugs in so many scenes with like the smoke and the little like EXO logo things that they're dropping in the tea, and then the floating hamburgers and Kai on a cloud. Like, if you couldn't make it more obvious that a song was kind of alluding to drugs. But so I had to put Coco Bop on here, but it also has that double standard of also being like this really cool funky summer song, so that's why it only ended up in tier 2. So I know that Block B has a whole collection of weird music videos, but they're not one of the groups I stan, so I don't know a lot about their music videos, though I have seen Her. And Her is like one of the few Block B songs that I actually kind of like. But we can all admit that Her's kind of a weird video. Like the scene with Zico and the ostrich, and just like all the bright colors and the weirdness of the song as well, and like that weird little dance move that they do during the chorus. It's a pretty funky song. Kicking off tier 3 with a fan favorite, Blood, Sweat, and Tears by BTS. So long-term fans might argue that Blood, Sweat, and Tears isn't that weird, but as someone who experienced Blood, Sweat, and Tears as the second BTS MV that they ever saw, when BTS was the group that got them into K-pop, this video freaked me out. The person who was showing me BTS was like, here, this is one of their really popular songs, check it out. And I watched that video, and I was like, what am I getting myself into? Because for the untrained, unarmy, like not a K-pop person it's a really, really weird video that kind of smells of the occult and similar things like that. And to this day, we really don't know what some of Blood, Sweat, and Tears means, though long-term fans can appreciate it as the masterpiece that it is. Tier 3 or not. Oh, Sinmi, one of those artists that knows how to perfectly balance the strange and the eccentric with a total bop. La La Land took a little bit more time than usual to grow on me for a Sinmi song, probably because the MV is one of her weirder ones. Like, you can argue that Noir was pretty weird, and Siren was also pretty weird, but La La Land, like, really let the cat out of the bag visually. And now that I've like had time to acclimatize myself to it, I adore the MV, and I know I appreciate it for the piece of art that it is. But we can still argue that it's a really, really weird video. As amazing as the song is. And again, hats off to Sunmi for being someone who can pull it off so well. Especially with her other music videos as well. She's diverse and she loves that weird concept. And we stand that. So if you read the YouTube comments for Who's Your Mama, you will find yourself buried in the eternal debate of exactly how weird is this video. And I personally am one of the people who finds it kind of awkward and weird to watch because, you know, not only because JYP is a grown man and not a younger idol, not that a younger idol would be able to make this any less weird. It's a pretty creepy video if you're a woman. But I mean, the weirder thing is that he's the CEO of this company, and we see him with idols like Twice and Got7 and Stray Kids and ITZY and Day 6, etc., etc. But we also see him, doing stuff like this. And, it's creative choice. He's able to express himself in whatever he wants. He's an artist. But you can't deny that Who's Your Mama does cross some lines when it comes to exactly how weird MVs should be. So, Up and Down by EXID is known very well by K-pop fans as one of the most iconic K-pop songs, period. But ironically, it's for the dance, and not many people think about or discuss exactly how weird the music video is. I mean, cutting Ellie in half and the whole dolphin and not dolphin, what's wrong with me? The Barbie doll and fish thing, and just all of the wackiness. But it kind of suits the video if you think about it. It's not your typical sexy MV that you'd expect for a song that kind of started the trend or helped begin the trend of sexy concepts for girl groups. So I do have to say hats off to EXID for that. An iconic music video and an even more iconic dance. So, kicking off tier 4, we have Rookie by Red Velvet. As many of you know, Red Velvet are basically the poster children for the whack and weird concepts for girl groups in the third generation. And Rookie is one of the perfect examples of that. While Red Velvet adores this wacky concept and has effortlessly pulled it off in multiple music videos, such as Dum Dum as you saw in the intro today, Rookie really always leaves me speechless every time I watch it. The song drove me literally insane for half of my time as a K-pop fan, and now it has gotten to this point where I almost sometimes have moods where I crave the wacky and weirdness and the repetitivity of the lyrics. Because at first, because for Rookie, it's either you love it or you hate it, but somehow I'm caught right in between that. And the MV fits that so well. The MV possibly makes the song even weirder, with the weird flower man and exploding things and typical Red Velvet craziness. I kid you not, the first time I saw this in a compilation video of K-Pop MVs, I believe it was some game that I was playing, I honestly couldn't believe that a song like this existed. I mean, honestly, I've never seen anything like it. And as far as I know, Gugudan isn't even known for their weird songs. I've listened to some of their other stuff, and nothing really comes close to Chocoko. And this MV is just so much. You can honestly see some nods to a senior group that will be mentioned later in this video, but there's also so much creativity in it. The chocolate concept that kind of makes me not want to eat sweets anymore. And then there's the whole Mina's head exploding with the M&Ms. I think that's Mina. Gugudan's fans, please don't kill me. I'm not a hard stan. I don't know all their names, but yeah, the donut on a stick and the little chocolate people, the little Hershey's Kiss people. Honestly, it's so weird but so unique at the same time, and somehow it kind of works. I'm married to the music. I honestly had my doubts about putting Married to the Music on this list, because when I think of weird and wacky K-pop MVs, Married to the Music does come to my mind, but there is also an argument that you could say it's a Halloween concept, not like an acid drip concept. But the thing about it is, it's kind of both. I mean, we see Halloween concepts like TT, and then we see Halloween concepts like Married to the Music, which it's incredibly well done and so different for SHINee that they pull it off so well. I mean, they cut Key's head off and it was still singing. I mean, Married to the Music is just unlike anything we've seen before. It's honestly one of the best second gen MVs, period. It's so well done and so wacky, and it fit this list perfectly. Oh, Big Bang, we have gotten some equally wacky and equally cool MVs from them, but Bebe really has to take the cake. Because if you hear the song, it does, I don't know, I never imagined that the MV would look like this when I first heard the song. And then when I watched the MV, I was like, oh my god, what did I just watch? Because on the acid trippy scale, it ranks high, which is what makes it the last entry of our tier 4 on this list. I was even tempted to put it higher. But when you see my tier 5 picks, you'll know exactly why. I put those there and put this here. So, moving on to tier 5. Hey, mama, shake the mega, ay, 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 ay. Okay, so people who've been watching this channel know that I'm very biased towards Super Junior. And so maybe Mamacita is not one of the weirdest videos on this list, but and maybe it's not equivalent to tier 5. But if you put in the fact that the members probably did very little actual acting for this, and most of it is just the actual crackhead energy that emanates off of Super Junior, I think it deserves a spot on this list. And of course I had to include the drama version rather than the other version because, I mean, look at this. Yes, there have been some comments that it was, racially insensitive and things like that, but, if you watch it for the comedy aspect, this is pure gold. Honestly, all of it. It is it's 6 to 8 minutes. It's really long. It's 6 to 8 minutes of pure comedic gold. So I had to give it the tier 5 rating for that, and that only. I got it from my daddy. I got it from my daddy. I got it. So, if you thought we were going to go this entire list without me mentioning Psy, psych, you were wrong. And that was kind of a pun. But anyway, moving on. Psy really takes the cake when it comes to weird and wacky music videos. He is arguably the weirdest male soloist when it comes to concepts. And he does it so well. Honestly, it was so hard to pick a Psy video to showcase in here, but I had to go with Daddy, because while Gangnam Style was global and wacky and weird in my first introduction to Psy, I remember the first time I saw the Daddy MV when I was still relatively new to K-pop and I was in a restaurant and they were playing it and I was watching it going, what on earth am I watching? Because you see Psy as an adult, and then you see his face on the little boy, and then on the baby, and then on the old man, and does it get any weirder? Oh wait, yes it can. Throw in CL of 2NE1, which is one of the weirdest cameo feature things that you could get for this song like this, but here we are, and this exists, guys, and all of Psy's videos exist, and they exist to be on this list. I could make a whole 5-tier system of just Psy videos, but maybe another day. So, VIX comes in at in tier 5. And honestly, I couldn't pick a VIX video because VIX really has interesting concepts. And I'm sorry if you don't like looking at blood. I did not have fun editing this either because I can't stand the sight of blood. But I picked Voodoo Doll because I'm pretty sure it is their weirdest video, because I know they had to put out a clean version and this version because of the stabbing and the blood and the everything about this. Because not only is the MV weird, but they've got some really interesting moves, like some stabbing and stuff in the actual choreography. So I think they really take the cake and they deserve to be in tier 5 for this. VIX really took the whole, it's not even a spooky Halloween concept, but just the scary supernatural concept, and they made it their own. So VIX are the kings of that. They are the kings of acid trip concepts. So I had to give them tier 5 status for this. Did you really think I was gonna leave this off the list? Of course not. Catalina by Orange Caramel. Hands down one of the, if not the weirdest K-pop MV of all time. Whether you're a fan of Orange Caramel or you're just a K-pop fan, everyone's either seen this or seen an idol cover it or something, or heard at least about this MV. An MV that got banned on music shows because it was treating people as objects and wrapping them up in saran wrap, which wasn't a good publicity thing apparently, or it's not safe, so, or whatever. But everyone knows Catalina by Orange Caramel, so I of course had to put this in tier 5, and I saved it for last because, of course, saving the best for last. So that wraps up all of the tiers. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hopefully we'll do another one like this in the future. But we are not done. As I mentioned in the intro, we have one more song, an honorable mention that doesn't have an MV but deserves a spot on this list, and you will see why. Let's cut to that. Before BTS, before there was J-Hope the J-Horse, there was the original horse of K-pop. There was Siwon Choi of Super Junior. And he's the visual, y'all. They clowned him, they told him he was a horse, and so we got Wild Horse. In, I believe it was Super Show 5 or 6. Someone correct me in the comments if you know. But if there was ever a way to really take criticism or take the things that people make fun of and make them their own, Wild Horse is a grade A proof of that this can happen. Or like, you know, it's the way to do it. If you're gonna do it the way Siwon did it. Honestly, y'all, this is the visual. He came out on stage in a horse costume and sang one of the most memorable tour exclusive tracks from any group, period. So I knew it had to go on this list, but I knew it didn't fit any of the criteria, so I had to stick it in here at the end. So Elves, y'all have probably seen it. If you're new here and you haven't seen it, check out the full video. It's a trip. Alright, thank you again for watching the video. Please leave a like and subscribe for more crazy content. And let me know you guys' favorite MVs that felt like acid trips in the comments. And if you guys really say you want to see more of this, and yeah, let me know. And maybe we'll make a part 2 and I'll be sure to include all of y'all's suggestions. Until next time, I'll see you guys. Bye!